Well, hello everybody and welcome to Jeff's Baking Blog. Today I'm going to be making a pound cake, but in a 2-pound loaf tin. So this is going to be a vanilla pound cake, which I'm going to frost with lemon frosting once it's completely cooled down. So I've started off by heating my oven to 180 Celsius, that's 160 Celsius with a fan, 350 Fahrenheit. And I have 170 grams of butter, softened butter, and I'm going to add into that 150 grams of cream cheese. I've got 195 grams of plain flour, and to that I'm going to add half a teaspoon of baking powder, 1/8 of a teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. I'll just give those a little bit of a mix together. I have 265 grams of granulated sugar, 3 medium eggs, that would be large in the US, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and the zest of 1 lemon. That's just for the loaf cake. For the frosting, I'll use lemon juice and caster sugar, but we'll do icing sugar, but we'll do that once the cake is cooled down. So the first thing to do is to mix the butter and the cream cheese until it's all combined. And I'll give that a scrape and another mix. We just want to get that combined basically before we add the sugar. Okay, so then I'm going to add the 256 grams of granulated sugar, and I'm going to cream that until it's light and fluffy and it's got some air in it, and that's going to take 5 or 6 minutes. You want to scrape the bowl down part way through to make sure that it all gets combined. As it's getting fluffy, you can add in the vanilla extract and the lemon zest and continue to beat it until it's fluffy. Okay, so that's nice and fluffy. Now I'm going to add the eggs in one at a time and mix them, but just until they're combined. I don't want to overmix them. I was reading that with this sort of cake, if you mix the eggs too much, then when the crust forms on the top, it will form and blow up and have a gap between the crust and the cake, and then it will collapse and crumble. So as soon as the yolk is combined, we'll give that a scrape down and we'll put the next egg in. And mix that. And then the next one. Okay, that's almost mixed. I'm going to do that a little bit by hand. And then I'm going to put the flour in in two parts. So about half of it first of all. And again, I'm going to mix this on slow just until it's combined, no more. And then the second part. I'm going to give that a good scrape. And one final mix. Okay. And I have buttered the 2-pound loaf tin and coated it with flour as well. That's to stop the cake from sticking to the sides as it bakes, rises and bakes. And I'm going to give that one final whisk to make sure everything is combined, and then I'm going to pour that into the loaf tin. And level that off. And then I'll just check the oven. Okay, and I'm going to bake that for 50 to 60 minutes. Sorry, I'm going to bake it for 60 to 70 minutes, but I'm going to check it after 50 minutes by poking a skewer into the centre. And as soon as it comes out clean, I'm going to take it out of the oven and let it cool down. And I'll be back with you to show you the next step after it's cooled down. Okay, so here is my pound cake, which I cooked for exactly 60 minutes. I tested it after 50 minutes and it was still coming out with some batter attached to it, so I left it for 60 minutes and it came out clean. So now I'm going to make a frosting. I've just got about 225 grams of icing sugar, 230 grams, and I've got some lemon juice, which I've just squeezed. You probably would need 2 to 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. So I'm going to pour a couple of tablespoons in to start with and just mix it round. And it will start to be absorbed by some of the sugar, and we want quite a thick icing or frosting. I'm going to need some more juice, I can see that. Put a little bit more in. A little bit more. What you want is to try to achieve a thick icing, but that does run just a little bit. So that is running a little bit. Not very much, but that's probably good enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour that onto the cake. Now put the cake on its rack onto a baking tray so that it will catch any excess, and I'm just going to let that drop onto the cake. And I'm going to spread it around. You can make this as thick or as thin as you like. I want it quite thick, but so that it might just begin to run over the side just a little bit. That might be enough. So what I'm going to do is just spread that over and let it push it down a little bit so that gravity will take it down the side of the cake as well a little bit. You can help it along if you want. And then you just need to leave it for it to set, and it'll take a while, but it will set. It won't go completely hard, but it will firm up so that it's nice and easy to slice. So I'm going to leave it like that, and then I'll come back to you and I'll cut it in half and we'll have a look at the inside. Okay, so I've left this for a while and it's begun to firm up. It's not completely firm, but I thought I would cut into it. So let me cut it about there. I was going to cut it halfway through, but I'll cut it there so that you can see that it has a nice brown edge all the way around, nice and dense texture as you get with pound cakes. It's going to be very moist, so we'll just cut a little bit off and have a taste. That is very good. I can taste the vanilla and of course the lemon icing. It's very, very good indeed. So that's it for this recipe. I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you have, please give me the thumbs up below the video and click to subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can find the recipe by clicking on the eye in the top right hand corner of the screen and clicking to go direct to the recipe, or there's a link below the video that you can click. I'll be back with you again in the very near future with another recipe. So until then, happy baking.